everybody. Welcome to a show that is not Sunday songs, but a show which I didn't have another intro to play for you. So I just played that one. This is a live stream for all of our friends in the UK and Europe at a more appropriate time for you in celebration of the impending release of Nation of Heat Revisited. I'm going to play a couple of those songs for you right now, and then we're going to talk with our European and UK label honcho, Tom Bridgewater, about the record. And then at the end of the show, we'll take some of your requests in the comments. So thanks for being here tonight. And yeah, let's do it. I am the day, I am the dawn, I am the darkness coming on. And I am once, I am twice, I am the whole, I'm just a slice. Some call me gone, some call me here, none around, none near. I am right now, I am back then, I will return, don't ask me when. I am the disappointed kiss, I am the unexpected harvest. I am the old Kentucky home, I am the son who runs the farthest. I have done wrong, I will do wrong, there's nothing wrong with doing wrong. And I am faith, I am belief, except for when I'm not. I am the teeth of champions, I am rust and water rot. And I am asleep, I am breathing, I'm the missing of the passing seasons. I am the brush, I am the strokes, I'm sickness come to the best of folks. I am renewed, I am just made, I am unchanged. I'm a pasture fenced about the edge, I am Dakota thunder raging. And by my shoes and by my feet and by my soul and wonder, I am the tracks we've laid above, I am the tunnel running under. Thank you very much. I'm playing some songs here, 9 p.m. London time, because the live streams that I normally do are at a very inappropriate time for people in your part of the world. And I wanted to do something here to celebrate in a couple of days, July 22nd, Friday, July 22nd, my new record, Nation of Heat Revisited, a complete reimagining of my solo acoustic debut, will be coming out. So I wanted to play this virtual concert as a celebration as such. So here's one of the songs off that album. It sounds a lot different on the album, I'll tell you that, than what I'm about to play right here. There's no acoustic guitar on this new album. That would be one of the main differences. And of course, that's all I got here. This is called I Do My Father's Drugs. when the party starts on Monday and Christmas starts in June. When no one minds, I just arrived and I'll be leaving soon. If I return with eyes half open, don't ask me where I was. I do my father's drugs. When every revolution is sponsored by the state, there's no bravery in bandits in tearing down the gates. If you see me with a rifle, don't ask me what it's for. I fight my father's wars. When hunger strikes a fashion and freedom is routine, when all the streets in Cleveland and aim for Martin Luther King, you will see me at the protest, but you'll notice that I drag. I burn my father's flag. So when the party starts on Monday and Christmas starts in June, when no one minds, I just arrived and I'll be leaving soon. If I return with eyes half open, don't ask me where I was. I do my father's drugs. I do my father's drugs. Thank you very much. Let me know in the comments where you guys are watching from tonight. I always love checking it out. Let's see here. In just a moment, we're going to talk with Tom Bridgewater, who runs Loose Music. Loose Music is releasing this album in the UK and in Europe, and we're going to talk just a bit. And then after that, I will take your requests in the comments. Here's the song that I knew I had to get right. For this revisited album to make sense. So I spent if it took me 8 months to make this album, maybe 9, 10, somewhere in there, I spent 6 of those months just trying to get Hymn 101 right. That was kind of the skeleton key to get this thing working. And then once I got that right, I could do the rest of it. But I'm going to play a version of that right now. But suffice it to say, the album version, which you'll hear in a couple of days, sounds very different than this. So. And I've come to know the wish list of my father. I've come to know the shipwrecks where he wished. I've come to wish aloud among the overdressed crowd. Come to witness now the sinking of the ship.
throwing pennies from the seat-top next to it. And I've come to roam the forest past the village with a dozen lazy horses in my cart. I've come here to get high, to do more than just get by. I've come to test the timber of my heart. Oh, I've come to test the timber of my heart. I have come to be untroubled in my secret. I have come to see that nothing is for naught. I've come to reach out blind, to reach forward and behind. For the more I seek, the more I'm sought. Yeah, the more I seek, the more I'm sought. And I've come to meet the sheriff and his posse, to offer him the broadside of my jaw. I've come here to get broke and then maybe bum a smoke. We'll go drinking 2 towns over after all. We'll go drinking 2 towns over after all. And I've come to meet the legendary takers. I'm only come to ask them for a lot. But they say I've come with less than I should rightfully possess. I say the more I buy, the more I'm bought. And the more I'm bought, the less I cost. I have come to take their servants and their surplus. I have come to take their raincoats and their speed. I've come to get my fill, to ransack and spill. I've come to trade the harvest for the seed. Well, I've come to trade the harvest for the seed. And I've come to know the manger that you sleep in. I have come to be the stranger that you keep. I've come from down the road, and my footsteps never slowed. Before we met, I knew we'd meet. Oh, before we met, I knew we'd meet. And I've come here to ignore your cries and heartaches. I've come to closely listen to you sing. I've come here to insist that I'll leave you with a kiss. I've come to say exactly what I mean. And I mean so many things. And you've come to know me stubborn as a butcher. And you've come to know me thankless as a guest. Will you recognize my face when God's awful grace strips me of my jacket and my vest and reveals all the treasure in my chest?
Thank you very much. At this point, I'm going to bring on the fellow who's putting out this record in the UK and in Europe, and who's put out my records before, which I'm very grateful for. Please welcome to the show, Tom Bridgewater of Loose Music. Tom, how you doing?
I'm good, Joe. Great to see you play those songs like they kind of were originally.
I know it's a bit different than the record, isn't it? Here, I'm turning off this reverb.
It is. I mean, I'm really so excited, Joe. We've got the record here. We've got it. We've got the actual 10-inch vinyls come through on time. Would you believe it? I mean, it's a beautiful thing, a beautiful, beautiful record, and it's kind of amazing what you've done, Joe, with it. You know, I mean, when you think it was what 2007 that you put out Nation of Heat, and you know, kind of every singer-songwriter's dream, you know, self-released, and you had 20 million streams, I believe. Is that, you know?
Yeah.
And you know, it's such an interesting thing. When you came to me and you said, I want to do this reimagining of the record and how I've always wanted to do it, it was like, wow, what an amazing thing to do. You must be really happy with it, Joe?
I am, in a strange way, and I don't plan on doing this, but in a strange way, I feel like I could walk away now, because these 7 songs have always been some of my favorite. These have been my favorite children, in a way, and I felt like I finally did them justice with this album, and I have no intention of walking away at this point, but it is one of those moments, especially once I got the vinyl, I had it in my hand, I put it on the turntable, I listened to it all. I felt at peace. I felt like I, had done them justice.
Yeah, well, I think you certainly did. I mean, was there something that kind of triggered it for you, Joe, to sort of, you must have, because when you've said in the past that, you hardly knew how to play guitar. I'm sure, when you recorded it and, whether it was, you were sort of feeling your way and learning from mistakes in live shows in the Mercury Lounge, wherever it was. And so, I mean, how do you, was there something that kind of made you feel, right, I'm going to do this when you went into the studio? You made it in lockdown, right?
I did. And I made it at home. I decided that if I could get a good version, not a good version, but like what I considered to be a definitive version of Hymn 101, if I could do that, then I would finish the rest of the record. But if I couldn't do that, then there was no point in revisiting the record, because obviously that song is this thesis statement of that album, in some ways like the thesis statement of all of the music I've released since. So I spent like a really long time, not putting a lot of pressure on myself, but a really long time, like about 6 months, just working on that song, inviting in different drummers, different musicians, doing different mixes and playing them for people. I mean, there's a mix of that song where it was just like kind of like an Americana train beat happening behind it that sucked. You know what I mean? And that was 3 months into trying to put it together, and 3 months working on one song. And I had to admit that what I had there was terrible. So then another 3 months after that, I took the constituent elements to a really great mix engineer, this guy named Joe Chudek, who lives in New York State. And he sent me back the mix. And when I heard it, I said, yeah, man, that deserves to be a definitive version. And now that I have that, I can go back and do the other 6. And I did do them, and they went a lot faster.
I mean, it's so interesting. And it a long time's passed since the original. And I mean, how do you feel these songs feel now in the context? I guess you've always been playing them live, so they've always been, as you say, your children. But how do you feel they feel now in the context of the world now? All these, however many years later, 15? Is it 15 years later? 17 years? 17, I think, is it? Something like that.
It's 15 since when it was released, and about 17 from when a lot of the songs were written. Yeah,
I mean, it's a it sounds to me like you brought it into 2022. I mean, how do you feel about these songs now being re-released, reimagined, and how do you feel they sort of sit now with where we're at?
Well, I think if you're doing a good job writing songs, then what you're writing about should be pretty durable, which is human nature, because human nature really hasn't changed at all for thousands and thousands of years. That's why we can go back, and read the masters, and their stuff still holds up. So I think when songwriters in general are at their best, they're writing about human nature in a way where you could pick it back up and it would make sense. I mean, when you hear the opening line to Amazing Grace is, Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. And just the idea, that this was written a couple hundred years ago, and that the author is referring to themselves as a wretch. You know what I mean? And it's like, what honest person can listen to that and not see themselves in it, cannot see their own self-assessment in it. So this is a very long-winded answer to say to you that I think with several of these songs, I'm happy with the way that they've held up, because I feel like my younger self writing, I was writing some stuff about human nature, and since human nature doesn't change, these songs tend to be pretty durable, tend to hold up a little bit. I would say, in my own personal opinion, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm in a way really just playing devil's advocate. You know, these are classic songs, so
Thank you.
hats off to you. This is vodka, obviously. Hang on a sec. It's gonna
Get after it, man. I mean, I wish I was joining you at your. I've been at your table drinking vodka with you.
You've sat at this very table, Joe,
Yeah,
with your dad, having Sunday lunch, and I can't wait to do that again. I just wanted to I know we haven't got much time, but I wanted to quickly ask you about some of the illustrious people that you did manage to get to play on the record. And you know, you've got Carl Brummel from My Morning Jacket. I'm a big fan of that band, but then the one that stands out obviously is Brandon Flowers from the Killers. You know, did you find that people? I mean, that's the good on you getting these people involved. You know, and there's the 400 unit guy, and you know, you've got a great assembly of musicians around you remotely. So, well, I mean, I guess with Brandon, he sort of sought you out a while ago. You supported him on some dates, I seem to remember, in Europe or something. He's just a fan, isn't he?
Yeah, well, that last album of mine that you put out, Windfall. When that came out, he heard the last song on that album called "If Still It Can't Be Found," and he looked me up. I mean, he straight up looked me up and hit me up out of nowhere, person to person, artist to artist, and said, "I really like this song. You want to come open some shows?" I said, "Yes, of course." And I went out, supported some shows with him, and just always kind of kept up with him. And then over lockdown, he hit me up and said that the Killers were making an album, but that I'm trying to think what it was. I had sent him a song of mine called Crescent Bridge that has a big harmonica part on it. And he wrote back and he said, "Hey man, I like this song and I really like the harmonica playing. The Killers are working on an album right now. There's a couple songs that could use like some lead parts to it. We can't figure out what it is. And I think it might be a harmonica part. Will you do these?" And so I said, "Of course." And he sent me these tracks, and I recorded them in my home studio. And one of them ended up being the single called "Quiet Town." And what's really cool is since I was doing this in my home studio, it was in January. And I remember I cut the harmonica part for it. I bounced the files. I sent them back to Brandon and his engineer. And then I walked out back of my house and I took my son sledding right afterwards in the snow. And I just thought it was so cool to be working in this modern environment where I could interact with someone like that and send them this part and do something creative, and then power down the computer and walk out into the backyard and push my son way too fast down a hill in the snow. Brilliant. So that was cool. And so anyway, long story short, we had collaborated in that way. And then, I mean, not to put too fine a point on it, but I basically just called in a favor with him. I said, "Brandon, I'm working on a new album, man, and it would mean the world if you would sing on one of these songs." And he was very gracious. He's always working at a studio not too far from his house in Utah, and he went out and cut these parts for me.
And I guess that's great. And I guess that's how you sort of got other people involved as well, like this the album people. I don't know whether everybody's seen it yet, but it's got this beautiful artwork by Tony Fitzpatrick, who's famous for working with Steve Earle, who also has written some amazing things in the liner notes about you.
Yeah. As you can see, Tom,
now, excuse to turn them up and listen out loud again. Steve Earle, New York City, December 21. So good on you, mate. You know, this is what it's all about. You know, what did he owe you a favor as well?
No, I owed him favors, and yet I still asked him to do it. I owe everything I have in the music business to Steve Earle. He this is a Slade Cleaves joke, but Slade Cleaves would say, Steve Earle took me from complete obscurity to relative obscurity, Tom. and that's an important thing. So
great. Well, the reviews are starting to come in. Uncut Magazine have just given.
Yeah.
There you are, looking very handsome, Joe.
Oh yeah, of course, standard.
Look, and it's a great review, and we're very excited. It's out on Friday.
Yes. Thank you, Tom, for believing in the music for many years, coming up on a decade now, and supporting albums in the past, and especially being this one. You were the first person on the business end who I ran this album by that said, hey, I want to be on board. Let's do this. Sign me up. So thank you for believing in the record.
Project. And what I really like is you've also on the LP version, you've got all the different partners that you've got around the world working on the record, including That's Us there, Loose
Music. Right on.
Thanks for having us on board, Joe, and all the best. And can't wait to see you over here soon.
Okay, keep the vodka cold for me, and I'll be there soon. See you, Tom.
All
right. All right. Well, this is great. I would like to play a few requests for you now before I go. Of course, we're here. So toss your requests into the live chat there. Let me know what you want to hear. Of course, this is the record that I'm promoting right now. It comes out on Friday. It's called Nation of Heat Revisited, a complete reimagining of my solo acoustic debut with a full band. We're happy to be playing at this strange American hour right now because it's prime time in London and Europe, and we wanted to play for our friends over there. Let me know what you guys would like to hear before I go. Let's see. William Garfunkel says, anything from In the Meantime. You got it, man. Get some reverb going on here.
I've been saving all my nickels, half of every dime. I'm washing all the blankets. God knows that I'm trying to fix the gate. We will find each other, so they say. In the meantime, I'm lonesome while I wait. Now I'm lying to my family, who I'm thinking about. I had another woman, somehow she found out, she always knew. We'll be honest with each other, me and you. In the meantime, I'll break a heart or two. Now I'm selling saws and hammers for half of what they're worth. I'm dreaming for a living, I got no time for work, it's getting hard. One day we will never be apart. In the meantime, I'm wondering where you are. Now I'm sleeping in the closet. I'm lucky when I sleep. I'm drinking from the faucet. I'm scared of the police. What should I do? One day he will be my reason to. In the meantime, I should find another.
Thank you. Thank you for the request. I appreciate it. It looks like we have a lot of our Sunday songs regulars here. That's great. The Hope and the Fear. Would love to hear The Flood in Color. You got it. And because of the way that you spelled color, I know that you're watching from England. Right?
Clap a light, I'll awaken to a foot of water standing in my basement. Started rising, took me in. The flood is coming. This is not history in black and white now. In a perfect storm, there isn't any high ground. The end of childhood, the end of summer, the flooding comes. They tried to warn me, I wouldn't listen. And now all at once I'm drowning in my kitchen. My legs are broken from treading water. The flood has come, the flood has come. I tried to bargain, I tried to tease, but the sky was deaf, the rain was never ceasing. It's not some cheap bed I can cover. The flooding color, the flooding color. So listen close, I was dead wrong to think that things could work themselves out in the long run. Pay attention, heed the thunder. The flood has come, the flooding color.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming by this live stream. YouTube user, that's a great name. I would like to hear Speak Plainly, Diana, and I think that that's a great way to go out here tonight. Thank you to our friends from overseas for tuning in tonight. Thanks everybody for checking out the new album. Where is it at? Nation of Heat Revisited. It'll be streaming everywhere on Spotify, You can buy it direct to consumer at my website, joepugmusic.com. If you are overseas, you can go to the website of Loose Music, pick it up, or order it through your record shop, and they will be distributing it. Yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoy this new record. I think in particular, Hymn 101 and Hymn 35 really came out fantastic on this one. If I do say so myself. I've been blowing a lot of smoke on this live stream, you guys. Okay, this one's for YouTube user. Avatar to end all avatars.
There's nothing to understand. Yes, there's mysteries in the basement, but there's comic books upstairs. And there's a wrecking ball in the front yard, but there's blueprints on the couch. Speak mainly to me, Diane. We'll build ourselves a house there. I don't mind riding around. I don't mind riding around. There's no safety, Diana, and there's nobody to blame. Even daylight real surprised. Even dreams will end the same. And there's too much to remember. You remember me. Speak penny to me, Diana. We'll swim into the sea. I said I don't mind riding around. 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 Oh, come lately, Diana, quit what's got you down. Steal from the tallest cabinet, make your favorite sound. When there's too much to get rid of, and you get rid of me, oh, speak penny to me, Diana. There's nothing you must be. I said I don't mind riding around. 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 I don't mind riding around.
Thank you very much for coming to our UK and Europe live stream. I'm going to be doing another one of these for people in Australia in like 12 hours. I'm going to be playing one at 7 o'clock in the morning, East Coast time in America, which is 9 p.m. Sydney time. So that's crazy. Better not drink too much tonight. Otherwise, it's going to be a bleary-eyed old pug for the Australian live stream. Thanks for coming to this one. I really appreciate it. Please pick up a copy of the new record, and I will see you down the line. Peace.